The new SnowRunner Imandra map is no walk in the park unless your local park is filled with truck grounding boulders. Here are 10 tips that may come in useful. Trying to secure the garage in Imandra, rescue those armoured cars, or get that broken plane home, but finding life tough? I feel your pain. The update 7.0 map is as tough as old boots. Fortunately, I made a how to unlock the garage in Imandra video, and then shared with you my 10 best trucks. Links to both in the description. Now it's time to share 10 useful tips to help you make less frustrating progress. Before that though, this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Now you've probably heard of this Android, iOS and PC role-playing game. Basically you and your band of champions do battle with magical creatures until you win, or lose in my case. Use the link in the description below to download. Use the link in the description below to download Raid yourself while I give you a few more details. There are 16 factions including orcs and undead zombies, all things you wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley in Milton Keynes. My starter champion Kale rains down magical death, and he lobs a staff that's more iron based than the vegetable he's named after. As a fan of RPGs like Final Fantasy, Front Mission, Breath of Fire, I like the fact that Raid offers character leveling goodness. Plus you get slick graphics, surprisingly deep turn-based gameplay, and a campaign mode with multiple difficulty levels, including one called Nightmare, or as I like to call it, Imandra mode. The more battles you fight against mythical creatures, the more champions, the more armor, the more weapons, the more silver, and the more experience you get to further strengthen your team. Raid just released a huge champion update, tweaking and rebalancing over 20 different champions to make PvP arena battles even more competitive. And if that's not enough, the Forge just came out, so now you can save time and start crafting top quality artifacts and compete right away. New players who use the link in the description will get the unique welcome pack, which includes 100,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 10 mystery shards that you can use to get more champions, and a free champion named Slasher, who may or may not be in a rock band. Did you know you can use a crane to lift and move those blocks at river crossings in Imandra? Yeah, you can make it double width for moments when your truck is too fat, or your driving confidence too thin, or perhaps repair what used to be there before it fell into the icy abyss. Annoyingly, you can still get stuck even in a truck with huge tires. Please fix the physics, Sabre Interactive. So consider having a tow or crane truck in that area on standby with some spare fuel and a flask of hot chocolate. The thing with Imandra is that while the lake is passable with mud tires, some roads are virtually impossible without chains, especially if you have a heavy trailer and cargo, so plan your route accordingly. Personally, I avoid these icy death roads, so I only use mud tires. Missions usually have you going off-road anyway, especially when it comes to building the garage or rescuing those armoured cars. Bigger tires are better. There's a cool article about Imandra's roads on Reddit, FYI. Honestly, getting the garage is a slog, but once you have it, the whole map becomes less frustrating. Mainly because driving all the way from Lake Cove to Imandra for the 5th time is a miserable chore. So scout your route and take it steady, or risk your entire fleet getting stuck. Fuel is essential in a game where you have to drive places, but it's actually less essential to drag a fuel trailer or fuel add-on into Imandra than you think. The area is littered with fuel trailers waiting for you to sip it out, all of which can be found on maprunner.info. If there are places you find yourself running out a lot, consider putting a fuel trailer there, or perhaps park up the Caterpillar 745C and its fuel carrier add-on. If you want the fuel with you, you're better off dragging a maintenance trailer than fitting the fuel carrier add-on, as it's less tippy. As the saying goes, it's better late on Earth than early in heaven, or something. Anyway, this is especially true in SnowRunner. Anyway, this is especially true in SnowRunner, as just one mistake can tip you over or get you stuck without a winch point. On a similar note, I avoid shortcuts and taking roads I've not tried before, because this is when Imandra punishes you. Heading into a dense forest, for instance, can cost you dearly if you have a trailer behind you. Likewise, those big rocks can ground a lot of vehicles, so think twice before going off-piste, no matter how pretty the view is. This may seem obvious, but I cannot overstate how important it is to have the most powerful engine, raised or active suspension where possible, the longest range or autonomous winch, off-road or high-range gearbox, largest tyres, you get the point. Why? Because Imandra's terrain is the least forgiving, so you want every advantage you can get. Although bear in mind that making your truck higher from the ground can make you fall over more. When you first start in Imandra, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Using the wrong equipment or a bad route will be a large source of misery. However, each time you make a mistake is experience you can learn from. Honestly, after a few missions you'll soon know where you can and cannot go. It helps that most missions use the same roads for part of the journey from the garage, and there aren't that many options to choose from as you move further away. This won't help with the occasionally tedious speeds you'll encounter in deep snow, but it will inspire confidence. Speaking of confidence, it can be a lifesaver to scout ahead in something with all-wheel drive, diff lock, and other off-road goodies. Actual scout trucks such as the International Loadstar 1700 or TZ420 Tartarin work, although progress can be faster in something bigger. But then you lose the ability to right yourself if you tip over. Find all the watchtowers, take the mobile recon trailer out for the day, or go for a scenic drive into the unknown. It doesn't really matter what you do. The point is that forewarned is forearmed. No, that doesn't mean you have 4 arms. Seriously, this map can give you some of the highest highs in SnowRunner, but it can also break you like a frosty twig. So give yourself a break, because sometimes that's all you will need to finish a task. And if really struggling, maybe something slightly stronger than Earl Grey tea wouldn't go amiss. And that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. The approach from Imandra is similar in many ways to that of other maps, but hopefully you've learned something. Take care, bye.